Hey y'all. So I wanted to chat today. Um, let's chat insurance and other things that has happened here in Panama lately. So let me say this. What I speak on is my personal experience. I can't speak for anyone else. I'm not a professional. I'm just sharing with you my experiences. That's it. So, a few weeks ago, I was talking to a Panamanian friend of mine. Hey, Markayla. So, she is a wealth of information. She sent me homes for sale, places to rent, places to shop. She sent me the Panamanian Instagram coupon list and just any and everything I would need. She sent the information. Thank God for her. So she also sent information on insurance for my age group because I no longer have insurance. I had some travel insurance, but that's expired. So it was time I get insurance. So she sent me information on Hospital Santa Fe. Let me put my glasses on. So she sent that information. I have notes on my phone. So she sent that information, and that Monday, I went to the hospital and signed up. So before signing up, of course, you have to have blood tests, and they did all the labs. And let me say this: when I first got to Panama some months ago, I had blood work done from a local doctor here. Great doctor. But the lab work and all I had done from the doctor's office was blood test. That's it. That cost $187. So when I go to Hospital Santa Fe to have blood work, urine, chest x-ray, EKG, everything, they did everything, and it cost me a whopping $61.57. I'm not sure why, what the big difference was, but I kind of felt that was a little high. And I know for America that's really inexpensive, but I want to pay local prices. I'd rather pay the difference in tips. That's just my thinking. So, the insurance for my age bracket and the coverage that I'm interested in is $135 a month, which is not bad. So I found out my blood pressure was high. It was extremely high, and I know why. So in July, okay, story time. In July, I reached out to my ex-husband. We talk. My ex-husband and I are still friends. We're still friends. We talk maybe once a month. We text back and forth. How's the family? That's just the kind of relationship we had. And I sent a text to him, and usually he'll get back to me within 24 hours, but he didn't. So, okay, no big deal. But the next day, it was, I was concerned. So, and again, he'll text back, usually, hey, I was working, how are the girls, or, how's your husband? same here. I would always ask about his family. So I didn't hear back from him for 2 days, and I knew something was wrong. And I'm no longer in touch with his mom or his family. You know, we've been divorced for years now, and my connection with them was through him. You know, we share pictures. So I just put his name in Google, seeing if his Facebook would come up, because we're not friends. He's not very big on social media. And his obit came up. That was hard. That was very hard for me. And you know, we were married for more than 20 years. He raised my girls. He taught them how to drive. He taught them how to change the oil in the car. Everything that a father would do, he did that. And yeah. Okay, I said I wasn't gonna do this, and I'm not. So anyway, I reached out to his mom. I had to Google her because, again, we just kind of lost touch. No hard feelings or anything. We just lost touch. And I talked to his sister, and she told me, this was July 19th or the 17th, but she said he supposedly fell down the stairs of his condo, which I don't believe that for a second, unless he had some health issues. And anyway, I don't want to get into all of that, but that just, that hurt. So I knew my blood pressure was, you know, and then since then I had been having headaches. So anyway, when I went to the hospital, of course, you know, we went back and forth if that was a pre-existing condition. And what they offered was, you know, try and get it down for the next 6 days, and then we'll take it again. But you have to check, and you can't take it yourself. You have to go to a clinic and let them do it and sign off on it. They have to initial. So I wasn't gonna do that because I knew it wasn't gonna go down, not, you know, on its own. So especially dealing with this. And I had been struggling with this. I was borderline hypertensive, but I could always run. You know, I would run every day and worked out, and I got it down. But, you know, I guess with other various factors such as menopause or whatever, it wasn't gonna go down. And I knew that. So, and they'll still cover me, but that, of course, is a pre-existing condition. And that again, that's okay. So I also, because my headache got worse, and I knew my blood pressure was high at this point. So 2 days later, I went to Mini-Med. And Mini-Med is an urgent care, but they are associated with different hospitals around Panama, or different doctors, I mean. And I will link Mini-Med below. And, you know, I've heard a couple people say, oh, you don't want to do Mini-Med because the wait is so long. But I've gone to Mini-Med 4 days straight to have my blood pressure checked. And yes, I could get a cuff myself, and they could teach me. So this is another thing with my blood pressure. When it's taken on with the digital cuff, it's super high. But when it's taken with the analog cuff, it's much, much lower. So I agreed to the meds for a while. I'm gonna take the meds to get it stabilized. And what I've been doing is, and I'm not a nurse, I'm just doing what the doctor told me, because I'm already pretty active. We walk at least, we're not doing the 4 miles in a day because it's so hot, but we are still doing 2.5 to 3 miles 4 days a week. So in addition to that, I run 15 minutes, and that's 1.5 miles at 6 miles per hour. I think that's 6 miles per hour. Anyway, I've committed to doing that to try and lower my blood pressure. And of course, I prepare this huge bowl of salad. I cook beans. I eat a lot of chicken. I even buy beef and I cut it up in tiny pieces to put in my salad. So that's what I'm doing to try and to correct. I just don't want to take medication. This is the first time I'm ever having to take medication, and I don't want to do it forever. Of course, if I have to, I will. But when the doctors and I discussed it, we discussed, my diet is already okay, but I think the running will help. It's helped in the past. We'll see. But anyway, that's what I'm doing to try to get that taken care of. Now, we also got the insurance for the monthly. We joined the membership for MiniMed, and it's $25 a month for myself and best friend. And it covers, it gives, and I'll try and link, like I said, I'll link the MiniMed's website in the description, in the comments below. But you have access to an ambulance. Everything is so much cheaper, and it's not, in America, your insurance is tied to your job. So these were great options for us. I did the Hospital Santa Fe, but I also want to do the MiniMed. And I've given instructions if something is really, if I need to go to the hospital for an emergency. Of course, I want to go to Punta Pacifica. But anyway, and Punta Pacifica is affiliated with Johns Hopkins in America. So, what am I missing? Let me check my notes. So, I know I'm kind of all over the place, but I'm just trying to give as much information as I can without giving too much information, because these are things you can check out for yourself. I will provide the information and you can do your research. So I'm doing the 15-minute mile and a half, and that it's 15 minutes 5 days a week, and of course eating right. So these are things I'm doing for myself. Oh, and something else with my first lab and the cost. I don't know. Maybe there's something I don't know. Maybe it's more expensive at a private doctor. Something that I don't know about, but I don't think so. $187, $61. It just doesn't make sense to me. And I felt that in the beginning, and that's why I haven't gone back. I don't want to be gringo because I'm an American citizen, and I'm not saying he did that. That is not what I'm saying. I just didn't I want to explore other options, and I'm allowed to do that. So the headaches are gone. I am taking the medication. I take one every night, and we're going to do this for 15 days and see if I can, when I go back, and I think I have 6 more days to find out, if we can go without the medication. So what I was saying about the blood pressure cuff, I walk into that clinic and they tell me to sit for a few minutes to kind of calm down, because I walked up there. It's only a couple blocks from where I live, 2 blocks from where I live. So I sit there, calm down, and they take my blood pressure every day for free. Insurance or not, that's just, and they're very nice. And because my Spanish is still pretty bad, I've learned certain phrases, so I let her know not to use the digital, but the analog. And at first she's, the first time this particular lady took it, she's like, no, I'll use this one. It's like, okay. So she did it, and it was really high. So she got the other one, and of course it was 130/80, which, we're gonna try and get it down to 120/80. But this is where we are now, and I just wanted to share that with you. This clinic, the mini-med, no one spoke English, but they were very patient. We used Google Translate back and forth. I talked into my phone, and he understood. Same with him. And I was apologizing because my Spanish is bad, and it's like no problema. But even at Hospital Santa Fe, not very many English speaking people. The guy at the desk was very nice. Oh, and both of these places are very organized. Once I tell them what I want, it was very organized. Everyone was very nice. And I'm saying that because I've been to the emergency room in America, and we spoke the same language, and it was still pretty chaotic. It was fill these papers out and sit down. I didn't get that here. Even again, getting my blood pressure checked every day. It was, she explained, sit down, kind of calm down for a minute, and then she got someone to see me. And it was never, oh, I forgot you were here, or, oh, yeah. Everyone was very attentive. So that is just my experience with, I haven't been admitted, but that's my experience, just walking into the hospital, having tests ran. Getting the EKG. Now I will say, let me point this out. In America, you're left in the room to undress, right? And then you cover yourself. Here, it was a little, just so I needed to wear a dress. So it was like getting ready to just raise my dress up. I'm like, whoa, hold on. Let me do this. Let me raise my dress up. You go over there, because you're not going to see all my business. And I don't care if you've seen whatever. Not mine. So that was a little uncomfortable. That's something I had to, it wasn't rude, but I was like, okay, hold on. You're not going to do that. but it was fine. And the guy just kind of laughed. He's like, oh, okay. But anyway, I would say that was my only, aha moment. Stop that.
No.
We're not going to do that. But everything else was fine. Everyone was very nice, very informative. Even though there's a language barrier, I knew. He explained how I had to take them. We're going to try the medication for 15 days. Unlike in America, once you get on blood pressure medicine, they push that, you never get off. In my experience and people I know. But again, everyone was extremely nice. So if that is a concern of yours, if you're thinking about moving to Panama and you're not sure, it's fine. And at first I was a little nervous because it was a new experience for me. But yep, those concerns were immediately dissolved once I got there. So anyway, just wanted to have that chat with you. If you have any questions for me, leave them down in the comments. If you have a comment, leave that. And until next time, bye.